yes, sure, sex before marriage is a sin.
Okay.
But do you think that it is less of an impactful deal to have sex before marriage for older people?
Oh, okay. I think what's interesting is I think it actually may be flipped a little. And so here's what I mean by that is I think when let's say you're single and you're younger and you've got all those hormones driving and all that kind of stuff, I think you're probably more likely, or I'll put it this way, like there's a really heightened desire to, I want to have sex,
right.
Just because of the stage of life you're in. I think if we're talking to someone and you're, let's say you're in your 30s, 40s, whatever it may be, again, obviously there's still sex drive and attracted and all that kind of stuff, but I also think there's a willingness to wait it out longer. Like, in other words, I'm single. My life is not, I'm not been having sex. I can wait 6 more months, right?
Okay.
So I think there's probably more of that mindset of,
okay,
I've waited this long, I can wait longer.
Okay.
And I think that affords individuals the opportunity. So when that, wedding night comes, it really can be significant and
you're both too tired to do anything anyway. Because you're 40.
As someone in their mid-40s,
you're like, geez, let's just wait till tomorrow. I'm so tired of your stupid parents.
I've been up since 6. Yeah. It's 9 o'clock. Yeah. Let's go to bed. So that may be true.
I'm too drunk anyway.
Well, hopefully that's not the case either. So anyway, yeah. So I think they're actually probably more willing to wait on that.
Okay, but if they do it, is it less of a big deal than if you're...
I think you've got probably I think it can depend. Okay. There's the one side of me that says, well, maybe you'll have more of the emotional, spiritual maturity to deal with that, right? But then I think there's the other part of it, especially if you've been waiting, to have sex until you got married, and now, you're no longer a virgin, and you really regret that's the case.
Okay, so you mean like, hey, I've waited till I was 35 and haven't done anything,
right?
And now I screwed it up.
Correct. Yeah. Like I think
I couldn't wait another week.
Right. I think
now I feel way worse than if I was
correct.
18.
Correct. I do think that can be a case.
Okay, and don't have my hormones are raging excuse to think
right.
About.
And
okay.
Yeah, and so again, these are all things that I've not, it's not just like I've read or whatever or my own thoughts. These are things I have had conversations with people about.
Okay.
And so in other words, I do think that again, it could be really harmful in that, or not harmful, but hurtful in that way for that person. But I do think there's other individuals again who go, okay, but you've got a little more emotional, maturity about yourself, mental maturity, spiritual maturity to handle that.
That's where my brain was.
Okay.
Because it's like if this doesn't work out, I've been through this having sex before marriage thing, 10 times already since I was 18 years old.
Right.
And so I know how to deal with all these things if this doesn't work out and this isn't going to affect me.
Especially if that's been like like you said, if that's been like a norm. Yeah. Then yes, it's probably not going to have quite that effect, right?
Okay.
In that same way.
Do you think it could still do you think that overall, with both camps included, that it is less detrimental to the future of the marriage than if we were 20 and did the same thing?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just because of more maturity?
More maturity. Yeah. It probably depends on individuals.
Or is it just obviously different problems?
I that's a good question. No, I still think the same thing can be true of, again, and this really depends on the couple and the individuals. But like, it still can be true. The fact of, okay, we had sex here. It was in this kind of state, but now we're in this state, especially like, let's say, the dating kind of thing, like it's exciting. It's, like, hey, I'm with someone. I really do love them. I do care for them. Okay. We're having sex, and it's this kind of, but it's all, there's still that, that adrenaline rush of just being with someone that you're really excited to be with and that you like. And it's obvious they enjoy your company and they love you and you love them. And then, but especially like when you're going again into the marriage part, and now we both have our careers, we both, right? Like, I think, and then what if it's not happening? Sex is not happening like as much, right? Okay. Because of marriage. And that's normal in the sense of like, we're in our careers, we're in our stages of life, or we're, we have these priorities in life. And so
past the just enough boredom stage,
yeah,
to like, where it's too much boredom,
or it's just like
of the same person,
yes. or it's just like, hey, like I've had a full day of work, like I'm ready to go to bed. Like I think you have all those that can come into play.
Also, I hate you.
Well, hopefully that's not
so I'm going to bed.
Hopefully that's not part of it. But I do think that can be there. And so again, I'm thinking in generalities here, obviously. But so I think that can be there. And so but then it's still the same kind of thing. It's like, well, why is sex not satisfying here as it was here? Right. And it's still, I guess, the framework of, well, what is the purpose of sex? Is sex considered holy and good and a gift from the Lord? And can sex be satisfying and fulfilling? Right. What does that look like in marriage? And so, but I do think you're right in the sense of, but these people are probably going to have the emotional, mental, spiritual maturity to be able to walk through that.
Okay.
A little easier. But no, but at the same time, regardless of age, your heart still gets attached to people. Right. And so you still get connected to people.
Okay.
And so I do think that's one of the problems of having, again, sex too early, saying I love you too early. You're getting these really intimate connections with somebody, and when that intimate connection is broken by one or the other person, someone is going to feel really hurt from that. And so I still think that's true, right? Like regardless of maturity, once you form that intimate bond and connection, and it becomes broken because of one person's choice, that's still hurtful for the other. And so
I guess it could be more hurtful now that I'm thinking about it also, because people get older and they hope this is finally it.
Yeah.
And then when it's not finally it, that would suck.
Oh yeah. Like, so I know.
And now you're older and.
Right. So I know someone that, they dated someone for, I think it was like 7 years, in like from their early 30s into their late 30s.
Yeah.
And then that person, and they just assumed, at some point we're going to be together, we'll spend the rest of our life together. And then, at some point, one of them broke up with the other, and that person was devastated.
And now you're 38 years old.
Correct. Yeah. That's exactly what happened, right? Either 38, 39, and just devastated. And because they just assumed you're going to be their person, quote unquote, right, for the rest of their life.
Right.
And so, so I do think that can be really hurtful and harmful.
So it is just different issues that you might deal with.
I'll put it this way too: if you're in a dating relationship, right? You're older. You're in a dating relationship, and
me?
No,
we're talking about me now.
No, not you, not you.
Okay.
Sorry, the abstract other person.
I'm married. I don't date anymore.
I know, except for you date your wife. Yes, good job. All right. So, but I think for the other person, like, so the situation would be like, if I'm living with, having sex with an individual that I'm not married to, right? We're in a dating relationship.
Okay.
We're living together. We're having sex together. We're helping, each other out financially, all that kind of stuff. There has been a decline just in marriage, right? In marriage stats. There's been a decline in marriage, okay?
You mean like divorce rates or the amount of marriage?
No, just the percentage of people who get married.
Oh, okay.
So that stat's down and has been going down for quite a while.
That's because people keep getting married older.
Yeah, people are getting married older. But also, I think people extend out the need. They question the need to even get married.
Right.
Because if I
did that for a long time.
Yeah, sure. Like, do I even want to get married? Right?
Because I didn't like anybody who was married.
Yeah,
that I knew.
Yeah,
and they didn't like anyone they were married to in their thing. So why?
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I completely get it. And so I think that, but if you're doing all these things together, in other words, you're basically doing everything a married person would do, but you're not married to them, right? Or a married couple would do, but you're not married. Then why get married? I think the incentive drops,
right,
to even want to get married, and I think that becomes
to blow a bunch of money.
Yeah, and I think that factors into the equation too. In all of this, is you just have a lot of people who have a mindset of just no need to get married.
Yeah,
I can live together with the person I like. We're having sex. We're sharing. We're helping each other financially. Like, there's all of these benefits. I'm having my emotional needs met. All that, but anyway, my point just being is, I think there has been that decline because the lack of incentive.
Okay.
And I also agree with what you're just saying, with a whole generation of people whose parents, especially kids whose parents were divorced, right?
Right.
Then they look at that and go, man, forget this.
Yeah.
No way I'm getting married. If that's what marriage is,
yeah, and
that's the pattern, like what you're talking about, all they've seen is unhealthy marriages.
Yeah.
Or even if marriages or people are staying together, but it's obvious they don't even like being each other's company.
Right.
Then you're like,
people staying together just because Jesus says so.
Yeah.
That's craziness.
Yeah. Or just because of convenience. Right? Like,
right.
Almost like whatever. Yeah. And I think all of those things factor into people just going, nah, forget that. I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
If I see those things, I don't want to get married because of that. And then I can just be with someone, not have to get married.
What's the point of dating?
And no, well, I think there's the dating part to live with someone, but I have no long-term commitment to this, right? I'm not locked in. So at any point in time it goes south, I'm out.
Right.